Alright guys, here is the review for Unit 3, solving multi-step equations and inequalities. The first problem, we have this. So we're going to go ahead and start by where the equal sign is, and then just draw a little line just so we have the left side and the right side separated. Okay, and then on the left side, I see I have some parentheses. To get rid of that, we're going to use the distributive property. So we're going to go ahead and distribute. So distributive property is when you multiply. So negative 5 times x, and then negative 5 times negative 2. So that's negative 5 times x is negative 5x, negative 5 times negative 2. Negative times a negative is a positive, and then 5 times 2 is 10. And then here we're going to go ahead and distribute this negative. The number here is, there's actually a negative 1. So negative 1 times x is negative 1x, or just negative x. You don't really have to write the 1, but I'm just doing it for this video. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. And then just copy this down. Alright, so there's two different ways I can do this problem. I can go ahead and combine like terms, turn it into a two-step equation, but I think for this video I'm going to be pretty consistent in how I'm going to work out all of the problems. What I want to do is I want to move or keep all of the terms that have the x on one side, and all of the terms that don't have the x, or just constant or just numbers, move it to the right side. We're just going to separate them. So look, I'm just going to put the negative 5x right there, and then bring the negative x here, and then I'm going to move these two terms on this side. So bring down the 50, and then move the 10x, just 10, so subtract 10, and then this is positive 2, so ends up being positive 2 because it's negative. So when it goes over the equal sign, you have to change the sign. And let me just kind of tell you the reason behind that. The reason is because to move it, we need to subtract out the 10, right? So that's why I'm moving it here. I need to add the 2 here, so I need to go ahead and add the 2. That's the reason why. You don't have to write it out, but that's the reason, okay? Maybe I'll erase these and keep this here. Okay, next step is we're gonna just simplify. So negative 5 minus 1, remember there's a 1, is negative 6x, and then 50 minus 10 is 40, and then 40 plus 2 is 42. Last step is always going to be division. So we're going to divide here. Okay, we're going to divide by negative 6. You have x equals 42 divided by negative 6 is negative 7. And that's my answer. So that's the way I'm going to do the problems here in this video. So let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and draw the little line to separate it. I look on the left side. I have parentheses. I need to distribute the negative 3. So I'm going to keep the 8, bring that down. Negative 3 times k is negative 3k. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. And then copy all this down. Okay. Now I'm going to move things around. I'm going to keep the variables on the left side. Move this. So this is negative, right? So that means I have to do positive 3k. Okay. And then here I have to keep the 2, and then move these two. So remember that's negative 8, and it's negative 6, it's going to be positive 6 here. Alright, so negative 3 plus 3, that's 0. So that's just 0k. That just basically cancels out, so that's 0. And then 2 minus 8 is negative 6. Negative 6 plus 6 is also 0. So when you have this type of solution where the 0 equals 0, this is where we have infinite solution, meaning that all the numbers will work for k here. Infinite solutions. Whereas for the previous problem we did, only negative 7 would work here, meaning that if I plug it back in here, all of this will calculate out to be 50. Whereas here, I can put any number, the same number here and here, and it's going to work out. Okay, all right. I'm going to just do 2 more problems for this video, actually 4 more, and then we'll go to the next topic. Alright, so here's this. So for this one, you have to be careful because what I'm distributing here is just the negative, not the 3. So that's technically, I'm distributing the negative 1. So negative 1 times positive 7, negative times a positive is a negative 7w. Negative 1 times 12 is negative 12 equals 2 times w is 2w, and 2 times 6 is negative 6. Let's move things around here. So I'm going to keep all of the w terms here. I'll go ahead and move the 2w. Since I'm moving it across from the equal sign, it changes signs, and I showed you why up here. And then keep the negative 6, and then move that over here, plus 12. And then let's go ahead and put everything together. So 3 minus 7 is negative 4. Negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6. And then negative 6 plus 12 is positive 6. And then you can go ahead and do all of that. So w equals 6 divided, we're dividing here, is negative 1. Alright, this one, we're going to go ahead and distribute this negative 7. So negative 7 times a is negative 7a. Negative times a negative is a positive. 7 times 3 is 21. And then 11 minus 7a. Alright, one thing I wanted to show you, if I go back up here and I see the negative 3 and negative 3 on both sides of the equal sign, I could have actually just done that. I could have just taken it out and then gone from there. So you can do the same thing here. If you see the same thing on both sides, you can just take them out. And then you're going to have 21 equals 11, which is no solutions. So you can just do that. You can take that out. You can have 21 equals 11. And since this is a false statement because 21 cannot equal 11, this is a no solution. Meaning that there's no number that exists that I can plug in for A and get a true same thing on the left side and the right side. Alright, a couple more. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. 9 times n, and we're multiplying here, 9n. 9 times negative 4 is negative 36. Copy everything down. And then go ahead and distribute the negative 2. Make sure to carry the sign. Negative 2 times 8 is negative 16. Alright, so there's a lot of things to move around here. I have variables here and here and numbers. So just be careful here. So you're going to do 9n minus 7n. And then that part is done. And then this one, since this is negative 2, write positive 2n. Okay, because it's going over the equal sign. And then I have, so that one's all done. And then I have 32, negative 16, and then I have positive 36 here. So now all of those are collected. Now we just have to simplify. So 9 minus 7 is 2, and then 2n plus 2n is 4n. 32 minus 16 is 16, and then let me get a calculator here for this one. So you have here 32 minus 16 plus 36 is 52. And then there we go. My final step is to divide. So you have n equals 52 divided by 4 is 13. There you go. So like if you're thinking, well, how do I actually know is there a way to check my answer? There is. You can take the 13 and you can plug it in for n. So let me show you. So you're going to do 9 parentheses. Instead of typing n, I'm going to type 13 minus 7 times n, so 7 times 13, and I press enter because that's where my equal sign is, and I got this number -10. So if I plug in the same 13 here, I should get the same number. So 32 minus 2 parentheses 13 plus 8. Yeah, see how I got the same answer on both sides, which means that this is the right answer. Alright, one last problem. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Alright, so that's 4 times 4 is 16. Why? 4 times -3. Positive times a negative is a negative. And 3 times 4 times 3 is 12. And here is the negative. Negative y. Negative times a negative is positive 5. Copy all this down. Alright, so we're going to move things around. We're going to do 16y minus y equals -52. Bring this over, so that's -12, so I have to write +12. +5, so I have to write -5. 16 minus 1 is 15y equals 15, let's see, -52 plus 12 minus 5 is -45. Alright, and then last step, 15. -45 divided by 15 is -3. Let me just go ahead and check to see if -3 actually works here. Because it's a negative solution, I want to show you how you can check your answers for this one. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to do 4 parentheses 4 times -3. You can just do parentheses or you can just hit times. That should be fine. -3. And then -3. That looks weird. Let me do it this way. So 4 times 4 times -3 again. Put it in parentheses, -3. Close parentheses. And then minus y, which is -3 again. -5. Close parentheses. Alright, I got -52 when I plug -3 in for my equation, or so for the left side, and then I got -52, so that works out. Yeah, that's the first section.